Hey everybody, this is Jeff with As Good As It Gets, and this is part 2 of my series, Things to Know About Cruising. And again, this is targeted more for first-time cruisers and inexperienced cruisers, but everybody's welcome to listen in and watch, because maybe there are some things that you will learn, and maybe you have some comments for me to pass on to everybody else. So again, this is part 2, and this is prior to cruise day. So you've booked your cruise, congratulations. Now there is work to do other than just sitting around. So first thing you need to do is download the Cruise Lines app. You'll be using it before the cruise, during the cruise, and it's going to be your workhorse. So for example, you're going to see a screenshot from my iPhone of Royal Caribbean's cruise app. Remember, Chris, Alex, and I, we go between Princess, like I'm on a Princess, Regal Princess right now. We go between Royal Caribbean and Princess Cruise Lines. So I'm going to be using terminology that they use, but it is standard across the industry. So application, you're going to have maps. You're going to have your deck plans. It's going to have your restaurants, all your amenities, and it could give you directions as well. So that is one of the things your application is going to do. The second thing is it's going to be your checking in. You're going to check in, you're going to upload your passport, your vaccination card, and you're going to set a lot of your preferences that you would like prior to. And then you're going to see a screen like this one shown that's, well, it shows your the ship, the sail dates. It's going to show your dining time, and all the information you have about your stateroom. And of course, as you can see, Chris and I have elected the 3-pack of premium dining, which I'm going to cover later on in this video. So traveling from the airport, terminal, and back. Again, you know your cruise route now. Plan accordingly. Remember about airline cancellations, train strikes, taxi driver strikes like we encountered in Rome. Just a multitude of things can come up. Again, airline cancellations are the biggest thing right now. So plan accordingly. Make sure you travel with a buffer time before your all aboard time. Passports, if you do not have a passport, get your passport. It is required for all adults, and for minors that are U.S. citizens, you may use your birth certificate as long as you're traveling with your legal guardian, your parents, or if your legal guardian or parents have a general power of attorney, notarized and clearly stated for you or your kid to travel with, say you're traveling with a friend's family, so those parents or parent, one of them, is your guardian, appointed guardian for the cruise. It does have to be a general power of attorney and fully notarized. But passports, make sure your passport expiration date is longer than 6 months after your cruise. So in other words, your expiration date needs to be more than 6 months after your cruise. Otherwise, get it renewed ASAP. If you need a passport, get it ASAP, because turnaround time right now is 2 to 3 months. So make sure of that. Travel visas, look at your itinerary. If you're dealing with a travel agent, they will tell you what travel travel visas are required, but bump the list up against to your citizenship country and which countries you're going to, and see if you need a travel visas. Most travel visas for cruise ship or day travel is an e-visa. And you can go do a Google search on what country you're going to. For instance, on this cruise, UK citizens required a travel visa to go into Turkey. We had 2 stops in Turkey. It was an e-visa. It was a form, submit. Within a day or 2, you get your electronic copy with your e-visa. It is required to embark and go on your cruise. Now, vaccination for COVID as required by the cruise line under 12 are not required yet to be fully vaccinated, but everybody above age 12, unless you have a medical letter that is written in the exact format the cruise line requires for your exemption. Otherwise, I'll talk about COVID testing in just a couple moments, but under 12 are not required to be vaccinated, but it is highly encouraged. Under 5, don't have to be vaccinated, but you will still require the COVID testing. Now, government required registrations, know what countries you're going into. For instance, 2 countries that I can name right off the bat, Australia and Canada have a government tracking program, if you will, for everybody, even your own citizens, Canada and Australia, coming in and out of the country. For Canada, it's going in. It's called Arrive Can. I'm going to use that Canada as an example because Alex and I and Chris have gone into Canada, both East and West Coast, and we had to use the Arrive Can app. There are plenty of videos on that, but you can leave a comment below if you need any assistance, or your cruise line also has how-tos and what is required for COVID registrations. Now, if you have not already with your booking, if you schedule your time for your main dining room or MDR, set your time. If you want the anytime or my time dining, that's fine and dandy. That's a flexible dining in the main dining room where you basically can either schedule a reservation, or a cruise line like I'm on now, Princess, it's first come, first serve, walk in or stand in line. If there's a table available, you'll get seated. If not, you'll be standing in line. Royal Caribbean, you schedule each day for my time dining. It does not have to be a static time for you to dine, but we prefer on Royal Caribbean to have early dining, which, as you can see on our screenshot, was 5:30. For dining, late dining is usually about 8 o'clock. Now, pros and cons with that is know your port times, all aboard times, and look at that. For you do not need to dine exactly at that time every night. It's not a problem if you're up to 30 minutes late, because after 30 minutes of your assigned dining time or your scheduled dining time, your table will be forfeited for you and given to walk-ins and or anytime dinings. Okay, you also have the prepay option of gratuities. Gratuities are basically another word for tips, but it is highly encouraged that you use these gratuities because that's a big way of how the cruise staff gets paid. Your gratuities are $14.50 to $17.50 a day, depending on your cabin and cruise line. You can prepay those in advance. So you walk into the cruise, you embark on the cruise ship with it all completely paid off, including your gratuities. Unless you purchase anything online or after you embark, you can walk out of there paying nothing. So, and what's also nice with prepaying your gratuities is you can set it up into your installment payments if you choose to pay for your cruise like that. Shore excursions are those tours that you have on your port days. If you want to schedule them through the cruise line, they do book fast. We do book shore excursions with the cruise lines, and we also book shore excursions with private companies. One we like to use is Viator because they're global, and they're a third-party company, booking company that sets you up with the local vendors, and they're usually a little bit cheaper, or quite a bit cheaper, than booking through the cruise line. Now, shore excursions where it's a lengthy duration to travel to that destination, we will book through the cruise line, because if anything happens when you're traveling to and from or at that shore excursion where you will not be back in time for the all aboard time for that port, the cruise ship will wait for you because it is guaranteed by your cruise line. Where if you book through a third-party company and do it on your own, that ship's going to sail off into the sunset without you, and you'll have to travel to the next port at your own expense. So shore excursions, if it's a very, very high demand landmark destination at your port, book as soon as possible. Well, now you're going to start getting a lot of emails. If you have not already done this with your travel agent or during your booking, drink and dining and amenity packages. Dining packages is for premium dining only. This does not include the main dining room or any of the included restaurants that are on the ship, like the buffets, the hot dogs, the hamburger stands by the pool, the pizza stands, so forth. This premium dining is like the steakhouse, the Italian restaurants, the wine bar, and the teppanyaki on some Royal Caribbean ships, and so forth, depending on your cruise line. Drink packages is anything more than the included beverages that you have on your cruise line. For instance, on Royal Caribbean and Princess, it's water, iced tea, lemonade, and like fruit punches and whatever else comes out of that mixed machine thing. Those are included. However, sodas, what do we call them? Soda, pop, Coke, same thing. Those are not included in your cruise, and alcoholic beverages and premium beverages are not included, and our lattes, macchiatos, and those premium coffees, those are part of a drink package. Now, every occupant of your stateroom will have to have a drink package if one of them wants a drink package. So if you have 2 people in the stateroom, both of you have to have a drink package. Now, if one of you drinks alcohol, one of you does not drink alcohol, one of you can get the deluxe premium, whatever includes all the beverages, including alcoholic beverages, for that drink package. This person doesn't care about alcoholic beverages. You can get what's called the refreshment package, refresh package. It includes the sodas, the premium juices like fresh squeezed orange juice, and the lattes, macchiato coffees, iced coffees. It's about half the price as the alcoholic beverage. Here's Thumpkin. Anyway, it saves you quite a bit of money for that person who doesn't prefer to drink the alcohol. So, and also with your premium dining, as you can see on the previous screenshot, we do have the 3-pack dining package. We usually like the teppanyaki, like we're cruising on Odyssey of the Seas. They have that teppanyaki restaurant up on the upper deck, and then they have Chops Grill, which is a premium steak restaurant, which is amazing. They also have the Italian restaurant, but we like the teppanyaki, so we're going twice and then Chops once. But anyway, get these if you have any interest in getting these packages. Purchase them prior to your travel for the cruise, because the price does increase significantly the closer to the cruise date that you go. Now, if you purchase these as a bundle when you booked your cruise, right on, you know what you got, fantastic. But if you have not already and want these drink packages, purchase them. They do have promotions, they do have sales quite a bit often, and you're going to be getting a email regarding this. Now, if you purchase it and you see a better deal or a lower price, contact the cruise line or your travel agent and say, hey, it was $59 a day, now it's $55 a day, I want to rebook it. Not a problem, they'll give you the lower price. All right, thanks for hanging out. I know this is so much information for you guys, but this is stuff that we've learned over the years and picked up, and it's going to help you guys a lot better. So do me a favor, like and subscribe to our channel, because we got a lot more information coming and a lot more travels. We're in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea right now, and I've got so much stuff on my SD cards that I'm going to be editing and uploading and publishing of all our adventures that we've been doing for the last couple months in the Mediterranean, and we still have a month and a half to go. So yeah, please like and subscribe and follow us on Instagram at AsGoodAsItGets. It's down there. Right on. Let's keep going. COVID test for fully vaccinated people. That's people who have had, you know, definition is 14 days after the last jab. Fully vaccinated is 2 days prior to cruising. Is an antigen test, or you can do a PCR test if you want. But a rapid antigen test, rapid test, one of those WebMD eMed tests is totally suffice for almost every cruise line and every cruise port, with exception of one, and I'll go over that in just a second. Unvaxxed people and unvaxxed children, it is a PCR test 3 days prior, or earlier than 3 days prior to your embarkation cruise date. And all unvaxxed cruisers will be tested an antigen test at the port. Now, here's another thing about that is the group that unvaccinated person is cruising with will be hanging out at the cruise port with the unvaxxed person, waiting to board and waiting for the results. So do what you need to do. The one exception now coming up is Athens, Greece, or the port of Piraeus. It is 1 day prior to cruising for everybody. It's a PCR and or antigen, depending on vaxxed or unvaxxed, and you have to do it in Athens or Piraeus, in person, at a accepted testing center, which is almost every pharmacy. The airport, Athens International Airport, does have a 24/7 testing. It's 20 euros at the airport for convenience, but otherwise it's around anywhere from 5 to 10 euros out in the city. And if you're staying a couple days in Athens or even overnight in Athens, your hotel will be able to point you in the direction of the nearest testing center. They are everywhere. Don't sweat it. You do not need an appointment at most of them. Most of them are walk-in, and you get your results within a few days. Now, as most of you have seen, as of August 1st, most EU countries have done away with pre-cruise COVID testing, with exception of the Port of Piraeus, Athens. Still requires 1 day prior. So travel wisely. Again, there's lots of airline cancellations, train strikes with no notice. And make sure you arrive well within time to check in and be aboard before the all aboard time. Not the sail away time, all aboard time. Again, pack minimal, enough for each day. Know your climate, know what you need. Ladies, you don't need 10 pairs of shoes, 15 dresses for a 2-week cruise. Dress appropriately, but you don't need to pack excessively. Routes over 5 days will have at least one formal night, or dress to impress, or dress your best, whatever the cruise line calls it. A polo shirt, collared shirt, button-up shirt, Hawaiian shirt, and a pair of even hiking pants, khakis, is totally suffice for guys. Ladies, dress nice. It's for the main dining room specifically. There is a dress code for a main dining room. Some cruise line, it's not really enforced, but it is highly encouraged. Now, along with dress, know what ports you're going to and any cultural requirements. For instance, when you go into a mosque, like in Turkey, we went into the Blue Mosque in the Hagia Sophia. Ladies, you do have to cover your head with a scarf, and men, it is pants. You do take off your shoes, so I did wear Birkenstock sandals, which is fine. It makes it so much easier getting in and out of there because you're with a crowd of people. But also in Orthodox churches, like in Montenegro, you have to have your shoulders covered, both genders, male and female. You do have to cover your shoulders because, again, that's a cultural faux pas. Also know the cultural faux pas of where you are going. Now, I'm going to talk about packing just really quick. Again, carry-on bag, pack a carry-on bag, handbag, small rolling bag that can be a carry-on the airlines, and 2 days of clothing, and your swimsuit, and minimal toiletries. That's toothbrush, toothpaste, and deodorant. That is all you need. Don't care about your makeup. Don't care about shampoo and conditioner, anything else. The 2 days worth of clothing is just in case your airlines misplace your bag, so it'll give you a couple days worth of clothing and your swimsuit and basic toiletries. Do not worry, you're not cruising to the middle of the Sahara Desert with no amenities. Almost every single cruise port and stop we have been to has been near a small town or a major city. They do have supermarkets everywhere in the world. They do have grocery stores, and they do have plenty of clothing stores everywhere you go. So if they misplace your luggage, the airlines, don't worry about it. Hash it out with the airlines. Just grab a touristy t-shirt. This was from our Alaska cruise that Alex and I did in May. This was like, what, $7? Go get a wardrobe. On board on the ship, they do have cruising t-shirts you can buy with like 2 for $15. But again, grab a few touristy t-shirts. A polo shirt is so totally acceptable for the main dining room, and even for formal night. Grab a pair of khaki pants for $10 or whatever. When we did our British Isles cruise a few weeks ago, Chris had to go to TK Maxx. It's like TJ Maxx, or what do you call it, the Marshalls, Ross in the United States. We did go to there to buy more pairs of pants for her. Again, you're cruising to places that are well established, so don't fret if they lose your luggage. Now, another reason for packing 2 days worth of clothing and your swimsuit and your carry-on bag and minimal toiletries is because when you drop your bag at the ports, which I'm going to cover in a few minutes, actually the next segment on embarking day, you're going to get your your drop bags at your stateroom prior to dinner. You will get them. They're not going to misplace your luggage at the cruise port. They are very, very good at accounting for that. But that way you can kick back after you do, I'm going to cover embarking stuff, but after you do your muster drill, eat, check in your kids, You can kick back, enjoy the sun deck, enjoy swimming pool. There's going to be a few people, less crowded on the at the pool, so you have your swimsuit with you. You'll be able to kick back. You got a change of clothes right there to clean, take a shower and change into, just in case your bag has not arrived at your doorstep. So not a problem. And know your prohibited items for your check-in and carry-ons. Big no-no is any heat-producing item that is an iron, curling iron, flat iron, tea kettle, rice cooker. Cruise lines have seen it all, but anything that's a heat-producing item is a fire hazard, and that is one of the biggest threats on a cruise ship, is having a fire. Surge strips that have a surge suppressor in them are a huge no-no. So electrical system on a cruise ship is very sensitive, a lot more sensitive than in, say, an RV, because this is a diesel generator. This is generated electrical power. But they're very touchy electrical systems, the circuit protections that are on there. If they sense an extra surge protector or surge suppressor, it will trip the circuit breaker for your room. Your room steward will reset this one time for you before they start investigating what the deal is. If they find a surge strip and a surge suppressor, you could be liable for any damage done to the electrical system of the ship. But now a power strip itself, like a power bank, I think they call it, just power into a splitter, is fine, no problem, as long as it does not have circuit protection. Alcoholic beverages are prohibited except your ration of wine, and that's in your cruise pamphlets. Check your cruise line's listing for all these prohibited items and your rations for alcohol. All right, I know this is pretty lengthy, but thanks for hanging out. We're almost done with this segment or part number 2. Print your bag tags. Now this is an example of bag tags that you see on the screen right now. This is for Royal Caribbean. This is what they look like. All your cruise lines do have a bag tag, but it has all the general information. You have your name, stateroom number, floor number, and the quadrant or area of the ship that your stateroom is on. Now all this information is very important to the porters at the cruise terminal, and also the employees upon board the cruise ship. Again, I know this is a lot of information, but thanks for hanging out for these long videos. I know it's a lot of information, but I'm here to help you. And please don't forget to like and subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram at As Good As It Gets. Again, we have so much more. We're going to cover Embarkation Day on part 3 of this series. We're in the middle of the Mediterranean right now. Actually, we just crossed into the Adriatic from the Ionian Sea. Awesome stuff. We're stopping in Kotor, Montenegro again tomorrow. Yeah, I love that place. But anyway, I'm going to be publishing videos as soon as I can. We got so much going on, busy port days, and of course making out these videos and then doing all the editing. So again, do me a favor, like and subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram, and thanks for hanging out with us on this series. Now, if you are an experienced cruiser or a new cruiser with any questions, or you do have a comment as an experienced cruiser or anything you've learned, put it in the comments below. We love hearing from you guys. Any tips and tricks you guys have, or any questions you guys have. So again, I won't eat up any more of your time. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you on the next one. So long.